I'm the Gentleman Wake, and this is a deck spotlight of the Slowhands playing cards by magician and YouTuber Kier Gomes, designed by Nick Nisko. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of this video because I'll be giving away a deck of Slowhands playing cards as well as an uncut sheet to one lucky winner. Kier Gomes himself joins us to show us a small magic tutorial as well. And remember, for the best in playing cards content, like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. YouTube is a tough platform. Don't let the success stories of Chris Ramsey and Peter McKinnon and others fool you. It's hard to make a name for yourself here on YouTube. It requires persistence, perseverance, determination, creativity, ingenuity, and an entrepreneurial spirit. Trust me, there are moments as a creator when you will question what it's all for. I'm 10,000 subscribers in, and although I'm ecstatic and super grateful to be this far along, still feels like the mountain is way out in front. Part of the reason for this is born in the reality that making YouTube videos is not a very viable business model, at least not in the traditional sense. For every Ramsey and McKinnon, there are tens of thousands of YouTubers you've never heard of. A creator makes maybe 1,000 videos before he's grown an audience that's large enough to monetize views, enough to even cover the cost of filling up a gas tank, let alone actually making a living. That's where the entrepreneurial spirit comes into play. Magician Kier Gomes really started posting to his YouTube channel in earnest sometime in 2018, and yet he's already put up 275 videos, many of which are deck reviews, and has now crossed the 5,000 subscriber mark. To his credit, Kier is an affable and upbeat personality with great magic and card manipulation chops. And you know what? He's a hard worker who's committed to bringing his audience 3 to 4 videos a week, which is a lot more than I can handle. So really, it's no doubt in my mind that when Kier was ready to launch a project of cards on Kickstarter, that his fan base would come out to support. These are the Slowhands playing cards from Kier Gomes and designer Nick Nisko. The deck comes packaged in a standard glossy cardstock tuck case printed with red ink. The front reads Slowhands playing cards in custom typography. The title is a reference to beginner magicians whose hand speed while performing card manipulation has not yet come up to speed. In keeping with the slow motif, the bottom right corner of the front features a snail with a peace sign for a head, the literal representation of slow hands. There are 2 other small snails at the top of the frame bounding the front that could almost pass for scrollwork filigree. One side of the box reads Starters Edition, once again a reference to the beginner magician, but also denoting this as the first Slowhands edition release. The other side features the last names of the producer and designer. The bottom has the traditional ad copy, and the top of the box reads Slowhands. There is no seal. The back of the box is a 1-to-1 representation of the back design of the cards. Opening the tuck flap reads Practice does not make perfect. As for the cards themselves, the back is a clear homage to the traditional bicycle rider back deck, a beginner's deck if there ever was one. Although the scroll work along the frame is obviously heavily inspired by the rider back design, it is nonetheless unique and original to this design. There are some Easter eggs in the form of tiny initials, Gomes and Nisko's, hidden among the scroll work. The main feature of the back design is the mirrored peace sign snail logo, which flanks a spiral swirl that actually makes the back design subtly one way. The faces are mostly standard, perfect for magicians of course. Pips, pip placement, and indices are all bicycle standard. The quartz do have some minor customizations. For one, the traditional blue has been stripped out, leaving only red, yellow, and black inks. Additionally, the King of Clubs and the King of Hearts feature illustrated versions of Kier Gomes and Nick Nisko respectively. The Ace of Spades is also custom, featuring a large chunky spade pip and the Slowhands snail once again. The deck comes with 2 jokers, identical except for a small detail I'll mention in a second. They feature a snail on a tricycle, an homage to the bike riding king on the riderback jokers, and a metaphor for the beginner magician who has yet to shed his training wheels. The one detail that sets the jokers apart, a sly 3 of clubs reveal in the front wheel spokes of one of the tricycles. Finally, there are 2 gaff cards added as well, a duplicate 3 of clubs to play off the Joker reveal no doubt, and a 10 of spades, ace of hearts double-faced card that Kier was kind enough to show us how to use in an exclusive tutorial just for us.
Hey guys, Kier Gomes here, creator of the Slowhands playing cards, and today I'm going to be teaching you a really fun color change effect that you can do using a double-faced playing card. Before we get into that though, big shout out and thank you to Omar for having me as a special guest on this channel. Not only does it mean a lot to me as a fellow YouTube creator, but also as a fan of the content on the TheGentlemanWake channel. So first, let's get into what the color change looks like, and then we will learn how to do it and what context you can perform in it. Okay, so for this effect, first thing we are going to need to do is select a playing card. So go ahead and say stop whenever you want. Let's say right there, your card is going to be the ace of hearts. Now it's very important that you do not forget this card, the ace of hearts, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and drop it off somewhere in the middle of the deck. Don't know exactly where, not keeping track, not holding any funny breaks, anything like that. Now I definitely know that your card is in here somewhere, okay? But I don't know exactly where, and I don't wanna make you suffer through the process of me trying to find it, so I'm gonna cut a corner here, and we're gonna use a different card. This is the 10 of spades. Now you can see the 10 of spades is a different color than your card. It's a different value completely, a completely different suit. So it has seemingly nothing in common, except for the fact that it's made of paper and ink, which can be manipulated. So if I rub the card with my hand and I just get it just right, you can see the ink starts to change a little bit, slowly but surely, turning into your card, the ace of hearts. So now that you've seen it in kind of a performance setting and you know how it can be used, let's get into the mechanics and how to make this look as smooth as possible. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the full routine that you saw in the performance, but I will teach you the sleight that uses the double face card, and it uses a principle called the Marlowe push through, which essentially looks something like that. So let's get into it. Now after you've forced your ace of hearts on the spectator and you've lost it in the pack, it's going to be up to you how you get here. But ultimately what you want to do is start with the card that is not the card that they selected. So in the performance, the spectator selected the ace of hearts. We will use the 10 of spades then. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the 10 of spades, right? And remember, this is the double facer, so you want to be very careful not to be waving the card around too much, and don't flash, don't hand it out for inspection, nothing like that. So you're going to take the 10 of spades and you're going to place it at your fingertips at that first line in your fingers. So for me, that's going to be about right there, okay? Now what you're going to do is the Marlowe push through, which looks like this, okay? Now, the pattern that you're going to use is really going to be up to you, but what I always say is, so this is obviously not your card. In fact, this card has nothing in common with your card. The value is different, the color is different. The only thing that it has in common is that it's made out of ink and paper, but that's about it. But I use that as my justification for the Marlowe push through. So I'll go, now the ink is on there, it's printed. It looks like it can't be altered, but with enough pressure, and I always push through kind of hard or I'll strain and go, with enough pressure, I should be able to make the ink slightly change, and I'm just going to be doing this motion, okay? So what you're doing is you're placing the card at the fingertips, and you're just, at an exposed view, you're just turning your wrist that way and pushing the card out. It's hard to do slow, but you place it at your fingertips, you just turn your wrist inwards, and you do this, okay? Now you're going to be saying that when you're saying, okay, maybe I can get the ink to change if I just push hard enough. Then what you're gonna do when you're ready to do the full change is you're gonna place it on your fingertips once again, but you're gonna place it back a little deeper into the palm of your hand. That's gonna help you with the extra secret move that you have to do. You only wanna do this 2 or 3 times max, right? So you wanna say, if I really try, maybe I can get the ink. It looks like it might be starting to change. It might be starting to loosen up a little bit. Then you place it deeper in your hand and you're gonna go that final time, and instead of just turning your wrist like that, you're gonna do one more move. So you're gonna turn your wrist and then at the last possible second, you're just gonna flip your wrist upside down, which will expose the back of the double facer. So first, you're just turning your wrist clockwise, right? Then you're gonna do that last one a little bit deeper. You're gonna start by going clockwise, and then right when you go to start pushing the card, just subtly turn your wrist down. Believe it or not, it's crazy, it's a phenomenon, but the spectator will not notice the difference in hand motions as long as you do it correctly. Well guys, thank you so much for watching that tutorial. I hope you really enjoyed the use of this double face card. Now there are endless possibilities you can do with this gaff. This is just one of those quick little things that you can practice at home. Big shout out again to TheGentlemanWake for having me over on the channel. As always, it is an honor and of course a pleasure to collaborate with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Kier Gomes, and I'll see you guys later.
Special thanks to Kier Gomes for the great tutorial. The Slowhands decks are of course printed by the United States Playing Card Company, and as such they handle just how you would expect them to handle, which is great regardless of the skill level of the person handling them. For a chance to own a copy of the Slowhands deck for free, as well as a rare uncut sheet, here's what you have to do. 1. Like this video. 2. Be a subscriber to this channel. And 3, let me know in a comment below which YouTube channels you most look forward to watching. To check out another Kickstarter deck put forth by a YouTuber, you should click on the video that will appear right here. It's the story of the Mint playing cards featuring Assad 52 cards, Chaudhry. As usual, I've been the Gentleman Wake. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.